Welcome. This is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Austin from Bleed the Sky. How we doing this evening?
I'm doing great, man.
So, hold on, man. My freaking phone volume was up. Sorry about that. You guys just got with a new singer,
Yes, sir.
Rudy Flores.
Yes, sir.
And how's that working out?
You know what? It's going as good as you could imagine. You know, sometimes in life things happen as far as these bands go, and life gets lifey and situations present themselves. But I think the look for this whole thing was, basically who are we to deny people of their therapeutic value, and music is certainly that. I think we see more and more of this. Just keep it rolling, you know what I mean? Sure, a singer is a big thing to get rid of, or to do without. That has been a big definition of the band, but we saw it as, hey, let's keep it moving, you know what I mean?
Right.
Sure, is the sound probably going to be different, this and that? Yeah, sure, but it's a band name that people are familiar with, and I think we'll still be able to deliver live. It may sound a little different here or there, but ultimately you'll get to hear those songs, and as I said before, music is definitely that thing for a lot of people that, it's a lifesaver, really, you know what I
Right.
mean? We go through a lot of things in life, and it would have been a shame to just not hear them songs anymore, other than just on the record, and to see it live is awesome. So
So I think it was actually wasn't it a couple weeks ago that your old singer was released, and you just announced that you replaced him with Rudy.
yeah, yes.
Okay, because yeah, Shauna sent me the press release, and then she sent me the new one and asked if I wanted an interview. I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, your guys' music is awesome."
Right, man. Are you familiar with the old stuff? Or are you just referring to the new stuff, or?
I'm getting see a lot of stuff that she sends me that is bands that I don't know. So I actually love it because it's giving me a chance to kind of broaden my horizons. It's given
Sure.
me a chance to hear a lot of stuff that we don't hear because you're in Los Angeles, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, I
Orange
mean,
County. We're everywhere. I live in Orange County. My guitar player Wayne lives in Orange County. We used to just all be from here, the original lineup, but now we got dudes everywhere. One guy lives like deep LA, or sorry, IE, San Bernardino. That's where Rudy lives. Another guy's living in Texas. Another guy's living in Florida. Yeah, so we're all
mhm.
over the map. Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing is like you guys have a big following out there, and you play a lot out there, but out here in Columbus, we kind of we have our local bands too. We have bands that have been at it for a while that are signed or whatever, but we also have our main rock station just plays mainstream.
Yep.
So that it's been great to hear all these different bands, and get a chance to talk to you guys and really see what you're about. And it's I've loved it. So
Hell yeah.
pretty much I've heard some of the new stuff. Definitely into checking out the old stuff. I actually just did one last night with a band that goes back into the 90s. And
Okay.
didn't even know who they were. And like, the guy was just telling me about their history and everything. I was like, wow, man, okay. And, you know, it's cool. So that's why I love doing these things. So the new single, Rotten Flesh.
Yeah.
So did you guys write that with the old singer or with the new one?
With the new one. Yeah. I mean, pretty much as soon as we basically knew that we were looking for a new singer, in my mind, I didn't have any I didn't have any I don't know. I didn't have any like buddy in mind necessarily. I wasn't trying to, in my mind, I don't know if that can speak for everybody, but for me, as like a founding member of the group, for whatever reason, my mind wasn't focused on finding somebody to emulate what Noah used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just kind of like, what direction are we starting to write in? You know what I mean? I want to find somebody that will will cover that in. You know what I mean? because this is the evolution, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily think, that's the cool thing with music. I mean, there's plenty of bands where the style went everywhere and continues to do so, right?
Right.
It's the beautiful thing. So I guess now in my older age, my mind wasn't how back in the day, I put my mind to certain things like, well, what if we lost this guy? Dude, we need him to sound just like this guy and this, not because, that's what the fans are going to want. And at the end of it, it's like, well, not necessarily. I mean, look how music is right now. It's not the same. It's not the same game. People just want to hear these songs, and there's going to be people that are like, oh, it's not the same or this or that. But you know what? By sticking around, by playing music, which is the whole reason we started in the garage in the first place, we're going to get some new fans, And
Right.
This is what we want to do now. The remaining guys that are in the group that are, some of the OGs, Wayne and myself, we want to do this other angle. We find guys that want to do this other angle. So we're like, hey, fuck it. We just want to play music.
Right.
So when Noah was, basically bowing out, my first thought was because we had toured with So This Is Suffering, which is a band that Rudy was in prior, and we toured with them, and I always thought he had a rad look and just like absolutely commanding vocals that rival like a Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, just like fuck, and I just saw his passion and I just love the way you look. You look like the homie from my area in Santa Ana, like just dudes I know, and he's got that shit that I've always imagined, like having like a tougher looking man. So he had that at the gate for me, and with this new sound, I was like, he's already doing that. Like this is gonna be no problem. And so when he came in the mix, we started writing. This dude was just firing shit out super fucking quick, like at his house, sending it to us, and we're like, this already sounds like it's the record. It's like fucking crazy, And so it was just, I had no doubts at the gate. Like when I was telling the guys, like, this is my pick, well, pretty much everybody was on board pretty quick, especially just like that's how we were starting to write. Yeah, it was just instant. And so when he said yes, it was just, let's hit the gas, and we're cranking shit out really fast, and we're able to do it in a different way because that's what you're able to do these days. You could be in 5 different states and crush shit out. I got an electronic kit. I mean, we're basically recording with that, and mixing the drums as best as possible to like make them not sound so programmed. But you know what? It's metal. Whether anybody that's listening to metal or not knows it, generally you're hearing some sampled drums in these fucking productions. You know what I mean? And listeners don't seem to give a fuck about that. So hey, keep it rolling. You want more music. The way it is now, people just want more now. So hey, how do we do that fast? Oh, okay. Fuck, let me crush this shit on the electronic kit real quick, and but that's what's going on. Let's just roll with it. You're gonna cuts costs down. That's for sure.
Right. So. No, I mean, a lot of people don't like, I think a lot of people don't like change when it comes to their music, but it's, I mean, I was kind of the same way back in the day. Grew up a big Skid Row fan, and when Sebastian left, I was like, nope, no more Skid Row. Same with Journey, but it's not, I don't think it's so much about just what the fans want to. I mean, it's what's good for the band. And I mean, I've read so many articles on, Skid Row talking about how, it's a toxic mix, blah, blah. They're happy with what they're doing. And as a fan, yes, I would love to see Sebastian back with them, but, the new guy's good. Johnny Solinger was good. I mean, so, they're going in the right direction. And I think that, change can always be a good thing. And again, it's what's most healthy for the band. I mean, you don't want to be playing with a bunch of guys that you can't stand.
100%.
So what's
I get it all the way around. I used to not get it like for when I was younger, because I was like imagining, because I started doing a bunch of side projects, and I'm like, well, in my mind, it's like, one's if this or that thing, becomes the bigger thing, and one's if for whatever reason I'm always thinking of that kind of shit, because you got to. It's life. Shit happens. That's always how I've thought. Like, one's if I get into something bigger, and it's nothing personal. It's just like that's where my life's taking me. That's where the career's taking me. And it's not that I'm not loyal or this or that. I would try to do it all if that was the time that I'm allowed. But yeah, I'm not living here to like not try to like step it up and do this or that. It's just that it is what it is. It's people get it twisted like it's some personal thing, and a lot of times it's really not. You know what I mean? It's really not. That's just the journey per person.
Mm-hmm.
People need to start being okay with that. You know what I mean? And not so like, oh, you're just locked into this and like don't do all the other things you want to do. Fuck that, dude. You got one life, man. I mean, I'm sure we've all lived enough crazy experiences to realize how fragile this life is.
Yes.
So you're damn right that I want the best for everybody that I'm working with. Like, dude, you got something else going on. Not only that, send me the link so I can promote it. I'm that guy, dude. You want me to help? If it helps me posting your shit, like, yeah, like I'm all about advocating for the better from people around me. Like it should be that kind of community rather than like, oh, look at this guy going and doing all this other, I mean, I don't know. I don't see the sense in that. That's just like all ego,
It is.
and it's unfortunate. So I try to stray away from that as much as possible.
Right.
Period.
So are you you're currently with Nuclear Blast as the label?
Bleed the Sky?
Yeah.
As of right now, we are self-sufficient. We were with Art is War. Nuclear Blast was the first record label we were ever on back in the day.
Okay.
And I believe Art is War is the only other one we've been on, but from what I remember. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure at some point we may seek it. It really depends, man. I mean, the name of today is do as much in-house as you can and try to own your masters, for the kids out there thinking hopefully these kids read a couple articles from us old guys and should see probably because they're the ones creating the future, but they don't need that. What they need is distribution. They need distribution in a worldwide manner, right? That's what you need for that. Any person getting on labels and shit, it's like you're gonna get on a label to get money for promotional value because we don't have money when we first start. We're all broke. We're all in our garages doing it for the right reasons. It's gets complicated when you start getting popular, right? But you just got to be smart. You gotta think before you act. Before you know what I mean. Don't react. You got to respond. You know what I mean? So, and that takes some patience, and you can't tell kids anything. But hopefully they're paying attention. It seems like they're doing pretty good as far as paying attention to like the online is where it's all at. They don't need no, but I see bands come out of nowhere and get millions of fucking views. That's your leverage right there. If you're gonna fuck with a label, keep those numbers rocking and your monthly, keep all that rocking so the ball is completely in your court and you're well aware of it. Because there's your documentation right the fuck there. YouTube, all that shit that matters, TikTok, all of it. Use that as no, this is what we want. You know what I mean? You don't. That's my advice for any kid playing in a new band thinking, oh, the label's going to solve your issues. No, don't go in there with your tail between your legs. Like, go for that shit when you know what you got. Not just because you have the spirit for it, but you got the numbers, you got all the other shit. That's the way of the now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, most of the people that I've talked to are independent, and it's great because you guys do have the freedom to do what you want, say what you want, play where you want, whatever. And also it's great for somebody like me because I mean the last few interviews that I've done, they've been independent, and I'm like, hey, can I play your new release at the end of the interview? And they're like, sure. So it gets yours out, gets you out there to like my community, what I mean? Because I have people that are friends that are subscribers and stuff. They'll share with their friends, whatever, so the power of social media is just unreal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
crazy.
I mean, and I actually, when you was talking about from all over, I actually got a press release from another publicist that I work with that it's an Indian, like from India, Indian folk metal band. They're called oh, what is it? Bloody Wood, something like that. something like Hollywood or whatever. Anyways, they're amazing. I mean, they've got 8.5 million views on a video that they released 3 months ago.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I gotta
so
check that out. Sounds interesting.
it
Fucking
is
metal
because I mean,
folk folk metal band
it's
from
an
India.
Indian folk metal band. I think it's called
Damn.
Bloodywood, and what they do is they take traditional Indian instruments, but they also take modern metal instruments and they mix it all together, and it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's got somewhat of clean lyrics, and then it's got a lot of unclean lyrics. I mean, it's really cool. But it's
Have you
really
heard
cool
of
to see
have you
something
heard of
like that from a different country. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally. There's a band that's really like plays some crazy ethnic shit and it's really heavy too. It's all over the map. They're called like Igor or
Mm-hmm.
Igor. Have you heard of them?
It
They're
sounds familiar.
crazy. You gotta check it out. I think it's like IGORRR for no reason or some shit. But
Okay.
they're fucking badass. I only know the one record, but yeah, there's so much crazy shit out there right now. It's just like mind blowing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's endless amounts of shit.
Yeah, and I mean, it is kind of cool, like how quickly things change. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
back when I was growing up, it was like you had your 70s rock, then you had your hair metal,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up on hair metal, was big into hair metal, but I also got into bands like, Obituary, Deicide, Slayer, you know. So it now you can hear one band that's got, one style, and 10 minutes later you can hear somebody else that's just like completely mind blowing that in a different style.
Yeah.
It and
All
it's
in one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I think it's kind of cool just because, back when it was mostly an industry deal, it was you're going to play this way, and that's how it is. Now people are like, like you said, it's better to be, informed if you're going to get a label, or just, do your own thing, and you're kind of like, hey, I'll play what I want.
Yeah. Absolutely. And release when I want. You know what I mean? Release. There's another angle of the way everything's going. It's like we don't have it's like everybody has ADD with everything now. It's like because we're just at that part of life where it's like everything is just readily available,
Mm-hmm.
um, almost to a fault, where it's like no, like our attention span is just fucked off. Like there's a certain threshold that we can even withhold. It's like sometimes it's funny too. I see it. I have to tell the guys, hey, let's take about 45 seconds off this song because it's too long.
Right.
It's just too much. People can't consume it. And you want them to want the next song. So I don't know. That's what I see. I'm definitely always paying attention to like what you know what is changing, what's evolving, and try to use those tactics. And I even like to look at other genres because it's different per genre how the marketing looks.
Right.
Like dudes in EDM, the ultimate appeal to that genre is that these are dudes on laptops, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
put that shit out wherever the fuck they want. And it ain't like down your throat, like, hey, go to my link, fucking like it, dude, all this other shit. These guys are just like, hey, I created a thing today. Go check it out here if you want, or whatever. It's free. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
not like down your throat, like go to our site and buy some merch too, and all this other. It's just like it's wild to look at all the different approaches and kind of be like, oh, okay, so this is why this is like doing really well, and oh, okay, so let's just put out singles and like have visuals for our singles on Spotify instead of like putting out a full length all every year or whatever. Like, let's put out 3 songs at a time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just do a fuck ton of little EPs. I've even been telling the guys we should be doing like how the rappers do mixtapes. The beauty of the mixtape for them is the underground mixtapes, as they say. They just release it at a lesser quality value, like the quality of the sound. You
Right.
know, and then they just elevate it, whatever the hits are. So what they'll do is put out these little mini mixtapes and get them around town or get it online and all this stuff, and whatever really hits, and they get all the hits and shit. Then they'll turn around and make the record with nothing but hits. So
Right.
they already know it's all gonna hit. Hopefully, 3 singles off that shit on there. Super smart, super I don't know, the shit's out there. You just gotta pay attention and watch for it. Watch some of these tactics.
Yeah. And I mean, so are you applying any of those tactics or any of those working out for you guys pretty well? Or
I think so. I mean, you got to do marketing. You have to do that too. There's all kinds of different marketing strategies. People have full-time jobs that just know about algorithms and posting, like all that shit is like this. It's either you know about it or you think it's a thing. It's like, dude, you got to do your homework. You know what I mean? People
Mhm.
are out there. They have specific jobs just to make sure. You see it. A lot of it is bullshit out there. They got a lot of this shit hitting you ad wise and shit. But like,
Right.
just got to do the homework and find the legit ones. But it's out there. It costs some money. So does everything.
Yeah, that's
And that's
true.
just kind of where we're at. Especially if you're depends on what kind of band you are too. Like we are, I don't know what kind of band would I consider us at this point. Um, we are like vacation metal or some shit, like
Vacation metal.
Airbnb metal, because we're not gonna tour 9 months a year. We ain't getting it like that. Like, I mean, unless you can throw some numbers in my face that say, hey, you can make a consistent living on this. I can't afford to like quit a job and fucking say, hey, I'm gonna just tour 2 months a year and it's gonna. I know that we ain't making that kind of money. Like, the certain pop bands could do that and I can do that easy, but you got to know where your lane is, and we're older. A lot of us are older,
Right.
so yeah. But if the opportunity comes up, then there's something to look at there, But until then, it's like, come back, work a fucking regular job. And I'm in
Yeah.
multiple bands, I'm in multiple bands, So
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
that's me. I have a day job. This is more of a kind of a hobby, a dream.
yeah,
Always been huge into music and being able to talk to people that are into it, like myself, and people that play it that I admire. It's great.
yeah.
So just to wrap it up, man. Any live shows coming up?
I'm actually going out this the beginning of June. I'm playing with this punk rock band called Fourth in Line. They were like a bigger band in like the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Just met up with them through a friend, and he recommended me, and we've been jamming, and so it's gonna be cool. I've never fucking played in a punk rock band before, so it's definitely been a different vibe, and it's gonna be cool. We're playing this festival in like fucking Quebec, and all like the
Oh
major fucking
wow.
punk rock bands are gonna be playing there. Old school like Guttermouth, Strung Out, Less Than Jake, I think headlines it.
Oh wow.
Voodoo Glow School is just all like the fucking quintessential fucking punk and ska bands from the '90s, '80s and shit. So it's gonna be really fucking cool. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't played something cool and big like that in quite some time, basically since right before COVID. So my main gig is with Devil Driver, and we should be doing something by next year for sure. So we got a second album coming out as well. So, but with the Bleed the Sky shit too, I know that's the focal point here. We're crushing out tunes right now, so we should have a full length at some point by, if not the end of this, probably by the end of this year, I would imagine. So at the rate that we're starting to collect steam and shit. So, but I know that we're looking at touring at the end of this year in November. I know it's not locked in, but that's where our agent is looking. So expect that. That's what I know
Okay.
for now.
Oh, I'm sure she'll let me know. We talk quite a bit. Are you talking
Yeah.
to your booking agent?
No, booking agent.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I talked to the publicist quite a bit.
Who's Shauna?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her, man. She's super killer. Such
So
a good person, man. Such a good person.
yes, she is. So all right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Yeah, brother.
And I just, out of courtesy ask, do you care if I play the new single at the end of the interview?
Not only do I not care, please do. Play it as much as you can.
Sweet. Because, like I said, it's out of courtesy, man. It's your stuff. I don't want to be like, oh, well, I can play it. It's So,
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
all right. Well, you have a good evening, and I'll look forward to some new music from you guys.
All right, brother. Take care, my man.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.